Now, as you know, Mozambique is huge potential for energy and resources.
Yeah.
Um, how would you describe the current landscape in terms of exploration and development?
I was saying that Mozambique is a land linked with a diverse natural resource, and one of them is water. We have coal, we have gas, but also we have sun. When it comes to the power, it's where we have a potential indeed to be unlocked because it's still locked. We need to build bridges, we need to build dams. When I say bridge, because somehow we need really a bulk infrastructure to explore this natural resource. The coal we have to take somewhere else and we put the power plants. The gas, of course, we have onshore and offshore. We still need to pull the bulk infrastructure. So the potential is there. I'm talking about more than 12,000 megawatts, which can be generated by Mozambique, not just for the local market, but also for the region itself.
Okay.
Power or energy is one of the commodity which we export already to our land-linked countries. That's why I was talking about the landlocked,
Yes.
because these landlocked in the way,
Yeah.
they need the sea, but also they need power as well. So, in fact, the landscape is really very, very huge, and it's amazing.
Okay.
It's where I believe in terms of economic growth, economic development of Mozambique. It's where we have to catch up. There is no way we can move on in terms of economic growth without power, without energy. It's uncle.
So the power sector is really key for the
It's a key.
development
It's a
and
key.
okay.
It's
All
a key. Even if you talk about and we're overcoming, you know, the poverty, there is no way we can catch up if we don't have, a vision in terms of power sector, in terms of energy.
right, good. And so, given that power is one of the key areas, and you mentioned coal and others, what are the main challenges in developing that whole energy sector? I mean, there's clear potential in the landscape that you mentioned,
Yeah, yeah.
and potential there. What are the main challenges in getting to that stage?
Well, challenge number one is to fund, the funding for the infrastructure which we need. The basic infrastructure for power in Mozambique, particularly, is the grid. You need to have, you know, the
The power
people.
grid,
The exactly.
right?
Anyway, you need to close the grid. If the grid is not there, the bulk infrastructure is not there. Mozambique, nowadays we are facing a problem to have power all over the country. It supports the country as well. Today we talk about the backbone. When we talk about the backbone, we mean the backbone in terms of railway, the backbone in terms of roads, and the backbone in terms of gas pipeline, but the backbone in terms of power as well. That's what we need really to develop anyway, the 10 provinces which we have. But also, this backbone will be very useful to deliver, to export power to those we need. All the regions, we need power. I can just give the biggest economy, which is close to Mozambique, which is South Africa. There's a break out there. They need a lot of power. We need a lot of power to develop. So the challenge is how we can really, first of all, build the infrastructure, put in place, how we can build more dams. Today, Mozambique, we're crying because of floods,
Yeah.
water killing people. We need water supplying people power. This means we have to build more dams. We have a potential of building in way more than 29,000 megawatts in the next 5, 10 years. And we can manage it. I'm not just talking about, hydro. Hydro, the thermal coal power plants, the gas is there, the sun is there, the wind is there. So everything is there. So we have a condition for that.
Okay. Good. Um, are there any specific projects that international investors should be considering in
Yes.
Mozambique? Specific
Yes,
projects that you
specific.
can mention a couple of them?
Differently. Today's we want to, increase the capacity of Cabora Bus. We have now 2,000 megawatt of Cabora Bus in place, generating as well. There is Cabora Bus North, which can build another 2,000 megawatts. It's just one. Okay.
Hmm.
Here we need a strategic partner. We
Okay.
need a partner to come up with a PPP, public-private partnership. There's a Mpanda project. It's lying there in the Zambezi Valley, where we can even generate in between 2,000 and 3,000 megawatts. We need a strategic partner. Again, the issue of the backbone, we need a strategic partner. But we have other rivers as well. And another issue which is really very important is to build up the pipeline. The pipeline coming from the north, where we have proven reserve more than 2,000 and 200, TCF.
Yeah.
We need to put a backbone. I'm talking about a 5 billion, pipeline for gas to link to the one which we have already in place in the center, supplying already power to the south, to South Africa. I mean, gas pipeline.
So the infrastructure projects are key.
Infrastructure project.
To this. So obviously there are a lot of companies interested in going to Mozambique and working in there and developing partnerships. What advice would you give to companies based here, perhaps in the UAE, who are looking to operate in Mozambique?
The first of all, there is a window which is called one-stop shop. It's where I'm coming from. I'm the DG, Director General of the Investment Promotion Center. We use this center as a one-stop shop for anything to help investors to invest in Mozambique. So I will advise any investor willing to do business in Mozambique to get in touch with us, because we have already, project profiles. Some with pre-feasibility study, particularly in the power sector, because it is where we need to kick off if we have to catch up. The challenge, industrialization. There is no way you can in any way, bring industry, Mozambique, manufacturing, without power.
Yeah.
We need to build industrial park. We need to build. We have already in a way, a mapping of all these projects in place. Of course, for those who are here in the Emirates, we have our embassy, we have our consulate, we have different company. I do have a representative in the Middle East. In the way, you can get in touch with us.
And you can provide practical assistance to companies who are actually, from here, want to go there and actually want to start working there. So what are the practical things that they need to look out for? Once they've touched base with your organization, what do they do? Do they go out there? Do they start meeting partners? Do they have to have, what practical advice would you give?
The practical thing is to put the footprint. By putting the footprint, it means to get in touch with the legal framework in the way, you have to follow the procedure. Yeah. I always advise in the way investors, for those who just move to Mozambique and then they get in touch with some company and they end up with problem because they're not picking up the property to the door. So we have appropriate institutions to deal with business in Mozambique. One of them is the investment center, but also we have other institutions like, for instance, a office to deal with special economic zones is there in place. We have also, in the power set, particularly in the power set, the Minister of Power and Energy is there. We have our power utility company, which is EDM.
Yeah.
Today, the challenge is to empower this power utility company called EDM to partners, to come up with partnership. We have also the Kabora Bus, which is a public institution as well. The Kabora Bus company is the number one. I'm talking about the second bridge, the big bridge in the world, supplying power. So this is a public company to get in touch with, to partner with. So we will bridge for business as well.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Dr. Sambo. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.